You know what? Back again. Like I never left. Alrighty. Time to do some modeling. Like I never left. Oh, I was drawing that line. Not sure why. But no, I won't do that. Alright, this is section 1, section 2, 3, and 4. I was working on 4 last I checked. So let me go to the top and see what I can do. Thinking. That's funny. Doo-doo-doo. Alright, looking for a surface here. Project edges or faces. Alright, I want that. That's supposed to be it. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. All right. Now I'm gonna make one over here. Alrighty. Let's try to mirror it. Alrighty. Oh, it's because this isn't centered to the point. Alright, hold on. Let me stop the sketch. Go to this import. Select it. Now I should need to make a Maybe I need to watch more tutorials. Because, I don't know.
Before we begin discussing some of the individual part modeling features in Onshape, let's take a moment to discuss some basics to feature creation that you'll need to get started. First, in Onshape you have the flexibility of using the entire sketch or any piece of the sketch to create your feature. In this example, if I just click the sketch in the feature list, Onshape assumes that I want to extrude everything in the sketch all at once. It will automatically grab the outside loop of the sketch and any closed loop that touches the outside loop. This logic is a big part of the reason why you don't have to spend a lot of time trimming sketch entities in Onshape. Another important point to make is that you don't have to use the entire sketch for your feature. For example, here I can clear the sketch from the extrude command by clicking the X next to the selection or using the space bar, and then I can select any shaded region within that sketch that I want to extrude. In Onshape, a closed contour that can be used for a feature is shown in a darker shade, and I can click on as many shaded regions as I would like. I can even extrude several parts at once by clicking on several disconnected shaded regions. This touches on a concept of multi-part modeling, which we'll be covering in greater detail in the future. But this also means you can use a single sketch to create several different features. By default, after you accept a feature, the sketch that created that feature is hidden, but it's not consumed by an individual feature like you'll see in many other CAD systems. This is because in Onshape you may use one sketch for several features, or for several parts. So in this example, it's easy to show the sketch by clicking the eye symbol in the feature list, and again clicking the extrude command and choosing another shaded region to extrude. One last thing to mention, these basic details apply to more than just the extrude command. The sweep and revolve command, among others, also work in the same way. Next up, we'll take these basics and apply them to the individual feature types.
It's time to discuss creating features. We'll start with the extrude command. Click on the extrude command in the toolbar. The extrude dialog appears. From here you can choose from a few different things that you want to extrude. For example, I can select the entire sketch from the feature list, or I can select individual shaded regions from within that sketch. You also have the option of skipping the sketch altogether and clicking on any existing face to define your extrude. Once you have defined what you want to extrude, you'll need to set the depth. Onshape has a full list of end conditions, which we will be covering in more detail in the future. The important end condition to know as you are getting started is blind. The blind end condition will extrude in a single direction the amount you specify. You can flip the direction of the extrude by clicking the opposite direction arrow in the dialog. For the depth, you have options to specify a direction. Create an offset from the start of the extrude, make the extrude symmetric, add draft to your extrude, or add a second end position. Enabling direction allows you to define the extrude angle using sketch lines, edges, or faces of a part, mate connectors, or even planes. Starting offset allows you to set a distance away from the selected sketch or face of the extrude. This creates a gap between the selection and where the extrude begins. The starting offset bound can be set to blind using a specified depth, or it can be set to an entity that can be selected. Reverse the offset direction with the opposite direction arrow. Symmetric extrudes the depth in both directions equally, meaning if my extrude depth is 30 millimeters, it will extrude 15 millimeters in each direction. Draft is available within the extrude dialog. Define its angle value and set the direction by toggling the opposite direction arrow. A second end position is useful if you want to extrude in both directions, but with different distances. Another important note about the extrude command is you can dynamically resize the depth of the extrude by dragging the manipulator. Simply left-click drag the arrow and your feature will resize live. You can also scroll up or down while hovering over the dimension to change its value. Like many things in Onshape, we've tried to simplify the interface but still give you a lot of power. For example, you won't find separate command in the toolbar for creating an extruded cut. This is simply one of the Boolean options available in the extrude command. Another example of this is the surface and thin extrude options at the top of the extrude feature dialog. Let's take a look at the thin extrude option. To create a thin extrude, select the option at the top of the extrude feature dialog. Notice, thin extrude has the same Boolean options as a solid extrude, along with the same end type and available settings. To define a thin extrude, select a sketch entity, sketch region, or face. When selecting a face, the outline of that face is extruded. Define the thin extrude wall thickness with direction 1 and direction 2. These directions add material to the outside and inside of the selected entity. Direction 1 and direction 2 can be reversed with the opposite direction button, except the thin extrude. This video discussed the basics of creating a solid and thin extrude feature. We'll be covering both the Boolean options and Onshape's surfacing commands in the future.
Onshape has a predetermined color palette as parts are created within a part studio. The appearance of these parts can be changed based on color coordination, color scheme, or any other necessary color change that needs to be made to parts. In this video, we're going to cover changing the appearance of parts using the appearance dialog. In a part studio, select the part or parts you want to change the appearance. Right-click the selection and select Edit Appearance. This opens the appearance dialog with access to the standard color palette and the color mixer. Under the Palette tab, select one of the many default color options available, or select the Mixer tab and choose the color from the RGB slider on the right and the shade of the color on the left. Either option automatically applies the color to the selected part or parts to preview. Below the palette or mixer is a preview of the selected color. To the right is the part transparency slider. Use the slider to control the transparency. Slide it to the left to make the part more transparent, and to the right to make the part more opaque. You can also input a value between 0 and 1 to control the transparency level. Below the transparency slider and preview is the opportunity to input a hex value or RGB values. Use these options if you have an exact color you would like to make the part. When you have a color specification you want to save, click the plus sign under Custom Colors. If any custom colors are saved, they are now available in any existing document. To remove a color, right-click the color and select Delete. to update a custom color, right-click on the saved custom color you want to update and select Update Color. The last option available is adjusting the tessellation quality of the part. The tessellation quality determines how many triangles are being rendered in the graphics area, or essentially how nice the model looks. The default option is Auto, which chooses a balance between performance and quality. Other options include Coarse, Medium, Fine, and Very Fine. Note that when choosing a finer tessellation quality, the performance of the document may be impacted until the tessellation is completed. This only changes the tessellation quality in the part studio. You may also adjust the tessellation quality of a part in an assembly by right-clicking on it in the instance list and choosing Use Best Available Tessellation. A diamond icon displays next to the instances that are using this tessellation quality. To reset it back to the Auto option, right-click on an instance again and select the Use Automatic Tessellation setting. You can keep track of all the appearance changes, including those of faces, using the Appearance flyout located on the right of the graphics area. Click on the Appearance flyout tab to open it. The list shows all existing parts and services within the Part Studio. You can edit appearances by double-clicking on a specific part or right-clicking and select Edit Appearance. The icon in the top right allows you to make changes to face appearances. Face colors are discussed in detail in a face colors video.
I mean, all this stuff's important, but I really want to figure out. I guess I'm getting impatient. I really want to get to drafting. Hold up. All tutorials then? Just tutorial after tutorial after tutorial? Like I thought of that I should probably make a You know what? Let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. What? This shit's kicking my ass. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Make connector. Or entity between entities. How the hell? Actually, I have an idea. So let's just make a revolve. Doesn't recognize this as a face. Yeah. It just exists. This is not recognized at all. Alright, so if it's in here, yeah, it just adds it back to me. Update it would probably just ask me to add another one. So yeah, the cat imports are good. And not only that, I'm working on 3. I finally found it, and I was looking for it. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
With Onshape, you can import a variety of 3D CAD file formats and other project-related data very easily. This is especially useful if you need to work with customers or suppliers who use another CAD system, or you need to download and reuse 3D models from a supplier's website. There are two ways to import a file into Onshape, either from the Documents page, which will create a new document for every file you import, or from within an existing document. You can import files by selecting the Import Files option, or import from an integrated storage service. To set up an integrated service, go into your account settings in the top right under your name. Click on Integration and choose which storage service to connect to your Onshape account. Once you choose the service to connect to, follow the prompts to add the service to your Onshape account. As an administrator in an enterprise, you decide which integrations are allowed. You also determine if all users can integrate their accounts or select users or teams. From the Documents page, press the Create button on the top left corner. Browse and select each file you want to import. The options on this dialog and on the notifications flyout will be discussed in another video. Each file uploads in turn and is translated in the background, if necessary, so you can continue working while the files are being imported. Onshape can import any type of file and translate a wide variety of 3D CAD file formats. To see the latest list of supported CAD file formats and their versions, go to the Help menu in the top right corner and select Help. Scroll down until you find Importing and Exporting Files. Select Supported File Formats, then Import Formats. Here, you will see an up-to-date list of all the part, assembly, and drawing file formats that can be imported into Onshape.
STL's there.
CAD systems change.
Oh, wait. View with references mesh only, unable to edit a mesh. Hold on. Where's that at? Supported file formats. Import formats. Alright, I might have to export it in a different format, because those are SDLs. Unless it can transform the mesh.
Is your file format every year, so there may be a short period of time when Onshape is unable to read their latest file format. In these instances, it is recommended to use a neutral file. The most compatible and reliable file format is Parasolid. If the sending system does not support Parasolid, the next best format would be Step. All the uploaded files appear as individual documents in your Created by Me filter. An uploaded file like a PDF, image or video, or any other non-CAD file type that can normally be viewed in a browser will be displayed inside a single tab within a document. For non-viewable files, the file will be stored in a single tab. To view this type of file, you must first download it by right-clicking the tab and selecting Download. You can then use an appropriate viewer to view the contents of the file. Supported CAD files are automatically translated. These documents will contain 2 or more tabs. The original uploaded file, plus additional tabs for the translated parts and assemblies depending upon which options you chose during import. These options will be covered in another video. Another way to import files is to import them into an existing document. With the document open, click the Insert New Element icon in the bottom left corner, then choose Import. From here, the options are identical, but each of the selected files will be added to the current document. As before, non-CAD files are added as individual tabs. Supported CAD files create 2 or more tabs, one for the original uploaded file, and one for each translated part or assembly. If an imported file needs to be updated to a newer version, right-click the tab and select Update. This updates any previously imported 3D files. Importing 2D drawing files will be covered in another video.
Alright. Alright, so let me see if FreeCAD can export a step file. Ah, crap, opened the wrong document. Love that. Now I wait. Alrighty. Let's go to export. Save type. Huh. Wow, you can actually do step. Step with colors. Alright, so I can do a step file. Neat. Oh yeah, you guys can even see that. Yes, if you're running away from FreeCAD and headed to Onshape, which the risk of Onshape is losing everything if they change the free package, or if you don't have internet, you know. Let's see if I can. Nice, he came back. All right. Those look like old errors, so I'm probably fine. Okay. Let's export as a step. Step zip. I like port section 3. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea how the hell to export step. First time doing it. Oh, somehow there's already an error. Wow. font face failed? The hell does that even mean? Alright, let me head back to my thing and do an import. Open. Alrighty. A lot better. I'm gonna switch you guys back so you can see what it looks like now. Oh. What the hell? It's just black screen now. Oh. There you go. This is the other one. This is bottom section. See how the whole thing lights up? And this is final. See, I actually have areas to reach in and grab the thing. Amazing. I wonder if Cura takes stat files too. At least FreeCAD was a good starting place. I'll say that. Alrighty. Yeah, it does not take step files on the STLs. Makes sense. Let's get out of Cura. Although, let's see here. Let's see. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. Not sure why the hell I'd want to do that. Alright. Alright, I guess I'll keep watching to figure out how to export.
You can import a variety of 3D CAD files into Onshape, both neutral and CAD specific. Each type of file behaves differently, so Onshape provides a number of options to help you import and translate CAD data successfully and consistently. Click on the Create button to import a file from your machine using the Import Files or import from options. Import from imports from any integrated storage service that is connected to your Onshape account. After selecting the CAD files you want to import, Onshape presents you with an Import Options dialog. The dialog is composed of three main settings: how do you want to unpack assemblies, how to orient the imported file, and whether to create a composite part when importing multiple parts or non-solid bodies. You can unpack files by importing all parts and assemblies into a single document, split into multiple documents, or insert into a single part studio. Each option will be covered shortly. The default coordinate system for most CAD systems, including Onshape, is for Z to be pointing up with X and Y on the top plane. For SolidWorks and Inventor, the default is Y up and X and Z on the top plane, so it is necessary to check this box to get the appropriate orientation. This can be changed after import, as you will see later. When importing, some files may contain multiple parts or non-solid bodies. Use a Create Composite Part option when you want to import all the parts together as one composite part. This can also be changed or applied as a feature after the import is complete. The progress of each import is displayed in the notifications flyout. You can stop an import by pressing the Cancel button before the file has finished uploading. Once imported, you can see the results of the translation. This Parasolid file failed, with faulty parts being imported. We will come back to this in a minute. The notifications icon displays the number of unread messages. You can close and open the notifications flyout by clicking this icon. You can mark a notification as read if you want to keep it for later, or you can delete it. You can also mark all as read or delete all using the links at the top. A file that was successfully imported can be opened directly from the file name link. A single import feature is displayed in the feature list. If the file contains multiple bodies, they will be split into multiple parts. You can right-click the import feature and select Edit to change its orientation if you forgot to select the option during import. Going back to the failed import, you will see that the document was created and the file was uploaded along with the faulty part in the Parts Studio. You can see the geometry, but the import feature is red. Hovering over the feature tells you why. If you hover over the failed part, you can see that it has topology faults, which are usually caused by missing faces or mismatched vertices. Now let's take a look at assemblies. Some neutral file formats like Parasolid and Step can contain completed assemblies. To import a CAD-specific assembly file, you will also need to compile all of the subcomponents. To do this, gather all the files belonging to the assembly and add them to a zip file. You can use the SolidWorks Pack and Go feature to create the zip file, or for Pro Engineer, Brio, Unigraphics, or Solid Edge, you can create the zip file manually. The name of the zip file must be the same name as the name of the top-level assembly. So in this case, the top-level SolidWorks assembly is called Universal Joint. You can either import all parts and assemblies into a single document, split each assembly into separate linked documents, or remove the assembly structure completely and add all the parts to a single part studio. Let's take a look at each option in turn. Importing into a single document is a good option for small assemblies. The first tab will show the top-level assembly and the assembly hierarchy as it was designed. For each of the sub-assemblies, a separate tab is also created. The parts are all located in one part studio centered about the origin. This is to keep the number of tabs in a document to a minimum. Now let's import a Parasolid file, but this time choose the Combine to a Single Part Studio option and check the Create Composite Part option. You should choose this unpacking option if you are not interested in the assembly structure or it is a fixed assembly with no moving parts. It is also useful for bought-in assemblies from a supplier where all the parts are to be treated as one item. The Create Composite Part option combines all the imported parts into a single part. Right-click on the Import feature and uncheck Create Composite Part to create separate parts instead. Now, parts in the Part Studio are their own unique parts, including parts with identical geometry. Create a new assembly. Insert the entire Part Studio and group all the parts together. Notice in the bill of materials that the identical parts are all listed separately. This is not a good option when you need an accurate bill of materials. The last option when importing is to split all assemblies into separate linked documents. Since an assembly can contain many sub-assemblies, a folder is automatically created in your My Onshape filter to keep all the documents together. When you open the folder, the top level assembly is the first on the list because it was the last document to be modified. The top level assembly document contains the Assembly tab, separate part studios for parts directly inserted into it, and a CAD imports folder with the original files. In the instance list, all the subassemblies have a linked document icon next to it to indicate that they are linked from another document. You can navigate to one of these other documents by right-clicking and selecting Open Linked Document. Each subassembly document is structured similarly, with one Assembly tab, separate part studios, and a CAD imports folder.
Download a file from a document, import a parasolid file into Onshape using multiple different workflows. Understand and flatten the Y-axis up import options, but I don't have SolidWorks, so I'll be fine. Review and how to create element folders. Create a group in an assembly. Alright, first thing, open the public document exercise import. Oh, it's a very unique. Alright, here it is. Wow, look at this thing. Anyway. Copy 111357. Can I not? No, no. Whatever. Alright, I'm done. Next slide. Notice the document contains sub-assemblies, a few part studios, and a parasolid file of the top level assembly. Right-click the master assembly parasol file and select download. Alrighty. Master assembly. Let me make sure that's what they did. Yep. Master assembly. Wow. Right in my downloads. And from there, we go back here and explore the different elements. Navigate to the main document page, choose create and select import files. Alrighty. That's not what they told me to do. Definitely not what they told me to do. Yeah, they want me to go back to the home. Alright, so go here, go here, go here, import files. Alright, calm down. Import files, and once I'm there, yeah, master assembly, import open. Alright, now I have to go import file, go to my downloads, master assembly, whoop-de-doo, and open. Combine to a single part studio. I have a lot more options. Orient, import a model, y-axis up. Sure, bro. Alrighty. Next. Open the new document once import is finished. Okay. Yep. Nice job making sure the Y is up. Now it's the wrong way, but whatever. Notice that. Notice that checking the combine to a single part studio option, we created a single part studio with all the parts oriented and positions as they were in the top level imported assembly. Checking the y-axis option rotated the model 90 degrees. In this case, we should not have checked the y-axis option. Yeah, we shouldn't have. To change the orientation of the model, right-click the import feature and select edit. Oh wow, this would have been good to know for the first episode. Edit and take this off, right? There it is. Alright, let's see what they say. Yeah. Next, we will import the parasolid assembly again, but choose to import to a single document. Create a folder and label it flatten. Drag the master part studio. Okay. So we'll head over and close this. Go here. Create folder. Flat. Speakers for the week. Flat. And then into an existing document. What? I'm hardly paying attention to what you just said, my bad. I'm completely locked in. No. No.
Nobody this nigga doing homework with no school.
Yeah, well, how else do you learn, right?
You trying to call me a dummy?
out of here. Oh, what is this? You know what? I'm gonna take a break.